Hello, friends. Good evening. Welcome aboard for a dab of the old Bakerloo line here in Train Sim World 2. I'm just gonna get me windows all appointed correctly so that I can see what's going on, and then we'll be away. If anyone wants to play along, I'll give you a minute or two to pick up the service that we're doing. Hang on, if I were to do a cheeky restart here, then you'll all be able to see which one I'm doing. And that should be relatively straightforward. Good, right. So, okay, a lot of people have been asking, when is the update out? Fingers crossed, touch wood, make sign of warding, throw salt over your shoulder, stroke your lucky rabbit's foot, tomorrow. Exact time. Oh, come on. I've been as exact as I'm comfortable with, just saying tomorrow. But anything can happen last minute that can change the release of something, but we are expecting the update tomorrow, and that's that. When's the PS5 version releasing? As far as I know, it's on Thursday, same as everybody else. But there you go. What update is coming tomorrow? The update is coming tomorrow. The big summer update is being prepared for tomorrow, and that. It should do just about everything. Yeah, there you go. Is that the PS5 version too? No, but I believe PS5 is out on Thursday. If Mike's watching, he'll let me know otherwise, because I'm not 100% on that. But I'm fairly certain they come out in accordance with, in alignment with one another. What's in the update? Go have a look on the forums. I think we posted the patch notes last week. And therefore you can see most of what's in it. I don't believe that there's going to be anything significant added, but the number of technical documents that Natalie and friends trawled through to pull the patch notes together was huge, and therefore it's quite possible that some other bits and pieces could be problematic. Is there a Rush Hour release date yet? Train fan, you may have been missing for the last couple of weeks. Yes, it's on Thursday. Rush Hour's out on Thursday. There you are. There you go. Yeah, Tuesday, but no update. No, Tuesday's tomorrow. If you're on the other side of the world, where it is already Tuesday, then it is Tuesday based on GMT or UTC, I guess. Yeah. If you don't release it, I'll personally make the 1 mile walk to Dovetail Game Studio and slap Matt. I won't do you any favours. He's not there. No, he's still working from home. There you are. So no, we're expecting it. We're expecting it tomorrow, but we'll see. Technically, everything is in the update because it's all being changed to 4.26. Don't worry about what engine it's on. Worry about the functionality that comes with it. That's the bit to focus on. The engine is pretty meaningless at the end of the day. It's all about what that engine does is the bit that matters. Right, anyway, I'm doing an end-to-end run. We're going from Harrow down to Elephant and Castle. And the first thing we need to do is remember how to drive the 1972 stock. But I'm sure it'll be fine. Now, you've got to get that set perfectly so it displays between two different places. With your Rolodex blinds there, you've always got to do that, because otherwise people might have some certainty. It's the way that transport systems like to communicate anything at all. Right, we'll stick that on. Yeah, no, we'll stick that on, and then we'll stick that into a bit of service application. We'll keep pressing this button until it can take no more. Come on, in your own time. Yeah, if it doesn't come tomorrow, says see you later, I swear I'm going to wait patiently until it arrives. Is probably the best way to go. Enough now. Enough of the hissing noises. Thank you. Right, what have I not set up? We need to put the passenger lights on. Right, there you go. We'll give it some of that. Now, I am going to endeavour. I haven't got my gauge lights on. All right, I'll do that at the next stop. Otherwise, it will be pitch black for most of this string. Will layers be available for? I saw someone wrote a moment ago. Will layers be available on the Series S? I don't know off the top of my head. That's a good question for tomorrow. Tomorrow we're doing a general catch-all kind of Q&A session. So if you can make it for tomorrow, that's a good time to get it answered. Because here's the thing: is Train Sim World is actually fearsomely complicated, and I don't mean that in the sense of game development is so hard. No, I mean that in the sense of there's a heck of a lot of different things moving at any given time in a developmental sense and in what's coming out. That it can be. Come on, keep going. It can be tricky to keep your eye on exactly what's moving at any given time, and I'm not as 100% immersed in the developmental side as I was when I was looking after the community this time last year. So I'm going to have to go with occasional vagary, but tomorrow you will be able to get all the answers that you desire, and possibly some that you didn't as well. You never know your luck. Right, let's go find that it's a one of these. It's those ones. There we go. Right, there we go. I'm happy now. Cool. Right, so here we go. We're off and we're rolling, and we've got they look perfectly set. No one's entirely certain where you're going. That's the level of information provision that I like to provide my customers. Timf, or Tim F. Either way, ease it down. You're up here. I want you down there somewhere. All right, just calm it down. It's coming. It's happening. Right, and it's going to be good. Smashing. I've got all the lights on. Lights are on. The lights are on. It's all right. It's okay. Good. Yeah, smashing. Is the season ticket coming on soon? Coming to Steam soon? The season ticket's coming to everything soon. Whether it goes up ahead of release or not is a Michael question, and he's not here to answer that one. So there we go. Yeah, good. When I drive on myself, do I do it with or without the HUD? I usually go with the HUD. Actually, has to be said. It depends what I'm doing. Driving for myself is most often I'm recording it for larking about video purposes, and therefore depending on what I'm doing, the HUD on or off makes a bit of a difference. The issue that I've got is that I don't play any one route enough to build up familiarity with that route, so it becomes quite tricky to. Well, what I don't get is I don't get to learn where speed limit changes are and where stations are exactly coming up. So I kind of need that stuff turned on, otherwise I'd be tripping it the entire time. It would be nice to take the time at some point to learn how to do it all properly, to pick a route and get good at it. But there you go. Yeah, I know. I've spotted that alert on the HUD as well, and I don't know what it's for. But the train's running, the passengers are getting on and off merrily, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Probably. Yeah. There you go. My background looks very different today. What behind me? Yeah. No. Well, this is a room in flux at the moment, where I'm moving things around and changing things up and all of that kind of business. But it's okay. Everything is as it should be. Yeah, still a little bit behind schedule. I'm not going to do my usual method of absolutely hammering the speed limit in order to get back on time. This is casual. This is a sit back and play. So I hope you're sitting back, because I have to stay engaged with the whole proceedings, you see, and that's just how it goes. Yeah, there we are. I'm gonna keep pressing. No, I don't seem to be able to reset that warning that's on there. Oh well. Oh, there we are. Have you guys thought of making TSW2 online? Yes, we have. We have thought about it, and we've thought about it a lot. There you go. No, I'm not going to tell you any more than that. Other than, we've given an awful lot of thought to. When you say online, you mean multiplayer. Yeah, we've put a lot of thought into multiplayer, and there you go. What were the routes with rush hour again? I see, now you're testing me. So you've got Boston to Providence on the northeast corridor. That's coming first. Then you've got Riesa to Dresden, and that's coming second. And then you've got London Victoria to Brighton. You've got, and that's coming up third. There you are. Yeah, that's how I remember it in my head. Yeah. Right, smashing. I'm actually cruising at a reasonably respectable rate. This is going quite nicely. Now I'm going to do a braking stop here, and I'm going to try it. If I was going to overshoot, it will be this station that I do it. I'm going to try full brakes now. I think you've gone early. I think I've gone early. You've definitely gone early. Right, brakes back off. Roll it. Yeah, there we are. Glad you found the live stream. I'm glad you found the live stream too. Live streams are always so much better when there's people to chat with, while you're attempting to concentrate on doing some relatively complicated mechanical operations. Right, get those doors open. Get off then. Come on. Unlock door. That's left, you clown. Oh, yeah, okay. It was the right-hand button, you see. I forgot that there were duplicate controls over this side. We should probably close those ones. Yeah, no. People will be happier that way, I reckon. Yeah. It's all just fine. I'm going to close the doors, but I was watching this train come in. I think that's quite pleasing. I'm late anyway. What difference is it going to make? Right. That's the other thing, is if you've got the HUD turned off, I can't see what I'm pointing at. And I like pressing the buttons rather than using the keys. I've got to grips with kind of using the keys to use the throttle and the brake and so on. But if there is a button to press, I prefer pressing the button. Yeah, just do. Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. Is the rush hour going to have Bakerloo line? So no, not straight away. Is the answer to that one. So when we talk about rush hour, fundamentally the most noticeable thing you'll see in rush hour is a change in the way that passengers move around and the number of passengers that there are in the game, and that's no matter what platform you're playing on. You will notice an increase in passengers, but that's only on the rush hour routes themselves. Later on, other routes, older routes, will also be given the passenger update treatment, but that's not coming for launch, and it will be Bakerloo line and Colnach and get the first updates to that. Don't have a date for you on that yet, but we will stick it on the roadmap as soon as we've locked down those dates. Fine. Yeah, stop late. See if I can. Right, go on, go. There you go. Is the core update releasing tonight for console users? You want me to tell you the exact minute you should start doing the equivalent of refreshing, and I can't give you the exact minute. All I know is that updates, we tend to deploy them in the afternoons at UK time. So pretty sure I closed the door. Yeah, go on. You're all good. Let's roll. Pretty sure I closed the doors. It won't let you go if you don't close the doors. Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, no, that's good too. Why does Xbox have no discount for the season pass? Because unfortunately we weren't able to secure a discount through Microsoft. The discount opportunities that we have vary from store to store, and if you've been around Train Sim World for a while, you know we really like putting stuff on sale. We love it, and so we want to put things on sale as often as possible. Particularly a discount on the season pass would be great, but unfortunately we haven't got that opportunity from Microsoft this time around. So we don't like that Xbox users are missing out. Don't like it at all. But we don't have a choice in the matter, unfortunately. So it's regrettable, but there's nothing we can do about it. Besides Rush Hour, there aren't a ton of new locos in development right now. Yes. Any announcements in the works there? In the next couple of roadmap updates, we'll be adding new stuff. I couldn't tell you exactly which one we'll be doing it on, as in which roadmap. But we have got new stuff that we're going to be lining up soonish. So it'll be in the next couple. We want to get Rush Hour out of the way first before we start, piling in. And here's what's coming up next. So we'll get Rush Hour done first, and then offer you a look at what's coming up a little further down the line. There you go. Go on. There you go. That's it. Lovely. Right. Still being a little bit tentative with these station approaches. I could be bolder. If you love having sales, why don't you just make things cheaper in the first place? Because there is a difference between the price that you sell things at and having a sale. If you, bizarrely enough, putting something on sale encourages people to pick it up. And therefore, by having the price as it is, we wouldn't sell any more if it was cheaper. We've done the experimentation to know that. So by having by running sales, it actually encourages people to pick things up. That it's just human nature. If you're in the UK, DFS, the furniture people. Come on then. I honk at you there, red light. What's the hold up? Who am I waiting for? Who's ahead of me here? Someone's ahead of me. I've got one behind. No, I haven't got one behind me as well. Right. No, that's red as well. There shouldn't be. This section's clear. That should be a perfectly acceptable yellow. There you go. We've got an idiot here. I think that might be a... No, it's not. That's just a different colour. No, wait. There's one. He's stuck at a red. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe we'll get some clear through here. I don't know. We'll see. Doors. No, I'm leaving the doors open. Close the doors to get the green. That doesn't make any sense. No. You see, why would I do that? If I've got a no-go, if this changes to green now, I'm going to be very disappointed. I'm going to question the. That's ridiculous. No, I was leaving the doors open to allow people a little bit more time for ingress and egress. Given that I had a red signal, there was no sense in. Waiting. Well, I vehemently disagree. Yeah, vehemently. No, that shouldn't happen. I thought I was just doing the passengers a solid, but as it turns out, I was wasting everybody's time. Thank you, team. No, that's good. Does it do that in real life? Yeah. Sifa as Vangbrimsung has gone, that's unrealistic, please fix it. I'm sure it's on the epic scale Master Series novella list of things that it would be rather nice if they were fixed. What will you do, Train Sim World YouTube channel, what will you do when Train Sim World 3 comes out? We'll probably stream that as well, I reckon. Pretty sure we'll deal with that. That's, yeah, there we go. Is the season ticket on Rush Hour in the launch day sale? Yeah, if I understand your question correctly, yes. Apart from Xbox. Sorry, Xbox players. Yeah. Then I believe everything has got the old discount going on. Yeah. Right. This is the first time I've actually looked at the speed limit. Well, that's exciting too. Right. There you go. Come on. Give me some of that. Now we go for brakes. No, too early. Still too early. So what you're saying is, you can probably do 5-10 miles per hour in about 50 yards. Well, that's a gamble. Yeah, but you've got to think about the parabolic curve you're going to get on the way down there. Yeah, and there it is. Right. Okay. Good. Yeah. In your own time. In your own time. I don't know what your issue was there, but crikey, about 100 yards out. My timings are pretty good once I get underground. You see. Yeah. you just clipped me being disappointed by the signal. No, that's fine. I don't know. I regrettably, I tend to call things as I see them, and sometimes that's not necessarily the best thing to do. But I do tend to call it as I see it. Can we please have more subway routes in TSW2? Obviously, I'm going to point you at, if there is a route you'd particularly like to see, submit it over on the forums and let us know which one, and maybe demonstrate why it would be a good route to do. But you knew that already, so instead, it's just going to have to go. It's just going to have to go on the big list of. We know you'd like more underground routes, but we know that people would like all the routes, lots of different routes, and many people would go from other countries, and they kind of go, but yes, other countries are important. Everyone's got routes that they'd like us to add. There we go. Yeah, there we are. Approach the station at 35 miles an hour and use brake in notch 2 for a little quick and smooth approach. Hey, I hold the record for the most on time on this route among Dovetail players, and therefore I am the master. I thought I saw the speed limit change early there. No, come on, crank it. Go, go, go. I'm late anyway, whatever. Can I be a little bit of a dissenter and suggest that outside has nicer scenery than most tunnels? What? Eh? What? Oh, I see. In reference to more underground routes, it's subjective. The whole thing is subjective. It's all everything is subjective. You know, whether you think it looks nice or not, that's a subjective opinion. It's nobody's wrong. It is impossible to be wrong when stating an opinion about how something looks. You either like it or you don't. You either think it's good enough or you don't. It's completely subjective. What we aim to do is make it so that the majority of people think, yeah, that's pretty good. That's our target. That's our kind of benchmark, right there. And whether you prefer glorious countryside rolling past or maybe some dusty plains or a tunnel, that's entirely your choice. That's entirely. Taylor, how's my evening going? Oh, it's going all right. Yeah, it's fine. No, it's all good. Is the Brighton Main Line going to be an add-on to the East Coast Rail separate? Separate. Two separate lines, those two. Now, we know that they link up easily enough, but you only have to talk to our German friends to say that we have already released lines that could very readily link up with one another, and we haven't done that yet. And this is purely because the technology that you're talking about there, we referred to as extensions, so route extensions. And the difficulty in doing that lies in making the timetable work no matter which combination of those routes you have, whether you've got one or both, or I mean you've got to make sure that the timetable will work happily no matter what combination of routes you've got. And at the moment, the way that our timetables are set up make that ferociously difficult. I mean, quite a few people will have spotted the timetabling system not 100% working as it should do from time to time, and that is because it is quite a fragile system. Because in the real world, it's governed by humans. It's not governed by something that is predetermined. And that way, if, for example, you've got a train that's running a little bit late and it comes into a platform, but you've got a spare platform, in order to keep the services running, you'd route the train onto the spare platform. But the way our dispatcher, the train controlling system works is it doesn't know to do that, or or there are too many variables involved for it to make that kind of executive decision. Whereas in the real world, you've got a human who's well trained, probably experienced, and ideally has a little bit of common sense. Will the Bakerloo line get fixed at Piccadilly Circus as the platforms are not correct? Eventually, possibly. That's the most concrete I can give you. So when Adam and the preservation crew get around to it, then that's the time that they'll look at issues like that. But it has to fall on possibly, because there is always a list of upgrades for the preservation crew to do, and it's hard to say where they're going to place those priorities. Yeah. Will the sounds for the BR-146 be improved in the summer update? Doubtful to no is going to be my answer there. I don't believe there are any specific sound changes in that update. Not that I'm aware of. We know that lots of people want the 146 sounds addressing. It is high on the list of things to address, but I don't believe that any specific work has been done for it for the update. Yeah. Any news about the TSG and Skyhook DLCs? You want to ask that on a roadmap stream. Now, look, the reason I'm a stickler for asking some questions on specific streams is because I try not to trickle out information that is of interest to a big number of players on inconsequential streams like this one, where it's just me kind of larking about. Well, I'm not even larking about. I'm endeavouring to drive semi-seriously, and I'm doing semi-well at doing so. So I direct people with more kind of far-reaching questions towards the appropriate stream, so that people who try and tune in for the streams where we do deliver information purposefully don't miss out. We don't want to get to a situation where everyone feels like they have to watch every single stream or they're going to miss a nugget of information. Yeah. What time will the TS start? I'm gonna answer this question a few times today. I can feel it already. What time does the update come out tomorrow? We don't know. When it arrives, we expect the usual kind of time, which is sort of mid-afternoon for the UK. So for those of you who do work an international clock, probably around 1 PM to 2 PM UTC. But don't hold me to that, because anything could happen to change that time. Anything at all. And I'm not the one who pushes that button, so there you go. Has this got the Bakerloo update on this build? No, I only ever play the same build that you get. So anytime I'm streaming, I don't play early builds, I don't play development builds, I only play the same build that you get. And that's a conscious decision on my part, because I want to make sure that whenever I want to make sure that whenever I'm playing, I'm getting the same experience you are, and not some hybrid of stuff that's in development. Why is it so hard to get the Thameslink license? Don't know. I didn't know it was hard to get the Thameslink license. I didn't know we tried. Do you have information I do not? I know. There you go. Yeah, our releases on Steam always happen after the team at Steam are up and at work. That way, if something goes wrong, there are people in the office to deal with it. The Steam being based in Seattle means we have to wait till around 4 PM in the UK, 5 PM, before we can be fairly certain there's going to be someone on duty at Valve. There's always someone on duty, but we might not be the most important thing they go on, whereas we have what's called an account manager who looks after us, and if we have an urgent problem, they will deal with us relatively quickly. You're going to be overspeeding here, sunshine. There you go. Crank the brakes on. Oh, I might just make it. It's going to be close, though. Might just make it. It's not going to be close. I'm going to make it. Nice. Will there be further tube lines added in the near future? Near future? No. No. Depends on your use of the word near, though, doesn't it? But in the sense that I suspect you mean, no, there are no plans for further tube lines at the moment. PS4 time. Stop. There's no point asking about times on different platforms because couldn't tell you. I can't give you anything reliable to go on when it comes to the time of release. Can't give you anything useful, reliable, or trustworthy in the slightest. I can only anecdotally tell you things that have happened in the past, and therefore you probably already know them because you may well have experienced them for yourself. So the sort of time we usually release, I reckon that sort of time. I reckon. Jack, they're not unreasonable questions. There aren't any unreasonable questions. The only unreasonable questions are the ones that are deliberately worded to be, ha ha ha, get out of that. I have you with my rhetoric. And you kind of go, yes, you're jolly clever, but there is no answer I can give you that would deliver any level of satisfaction. But we haven't had any of those. People want to know when stuff's coming out because they're looking forward to playing it. I'm never going to object to that. That's absolutely fine. AC says we say dates, you say hotter or colder. And I think even that would probably be more precise than I would feel comfortable offering it. Oh, Chief Longshin, how successful was the release on Epic? That's a good question. All right. Well, I don't have precise. Well, I do have precise numbers, but I'm not telling you what the precise numbers are. No, I'd be hoisted before the executive committee, and they would hurl things at me, possibly resembling chairs. What I will say is it's a very nice number. There you go. We had a very, very nice number of people who not only picked it up because they grab everything that's free on Epic, but also then went to the extent of giving it a go. We're very pleased with that number. The question will become, how many of those players are going to give it a go a month from now? How many people are going to keep playing? So that one is wait and see. But we know already that there are a fair shake of people who are sort of actively playing, having picked it up for the first time on Epic. What's less clear, though, is whether those people are regular PC players who've just decided to play the Epic version because it's got the update already in. Yeah. You can guess at numbers for as long as you like. Yeah. I mean, you can just, guess away. Firstly, I can't remember it that precisely. And secondly, I'm not going to tell you even if you do get it right. So, good luck. I wish you well. Right. Another interesting number will be the rush hour purchase numbers and conversion rates. Steady on there, Mr. Marketing. Oh, he's back there on your corporate lingo. We don't need any of that in here. We can talk like humans in here as much as possible. I know I slip up from time to time and sound like some kind of corporate android, but most of the time I try and sound like a human. Yeah. Will the older trains get PIS? Maybe, possibly, could happen. Who knows? I've got nothing specific for you. And that's the problem with asking about future developments, is that while I've got a pretty good idea of what the intent is behind ongoing developments, until it's announced, I'm not allowed to say anything, so I have to be vague about it. And then if it's not announced, but I know there's kind of discussions going on, I don't want to set any false expectations in that regard. So I tend to steer away once again. Yeah. Is the update definitely happening tomorrow? Probably. That's the best I can give you, is probably. That's the plan. But plans can and have and sometimes will change. I can't give you 100% cast iron, write it in a tablet of stone certainty. All I can give you is probably. That's the idea. Right. What else? How much details will be released from the recent survey? I'll probably drop bits and pieces in here or there, just because it's of casual interest to players, or like, you know, casual to moderate interest for players. In terms of, will I reveal unto you the results from absolutely everything in the survey? No, because there are other people who might use that information and go, very interesting. We can now use this invaluable proprietary customer research to guide our own development plans. Ha 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 ha! Those fools at Dovetail Games, they have given us everything. Yeah, that's exactly what everyone sounds like, you know. Throughout the games industry, they all sound like that. Yeah. Oh, someone else asked earlier on, and I missed it, but I saw the question and I meant to answer it, was how's the Steam article coming on? It's on hold until we are free, there you go, of the rush hour season. We don't want to muddy the waters, you see. Now, I mean, we were going to release it, I don't know, 2 months ago, something like that, but I needed a little bit more time to get it done. And then Rush Hour started looming its spectre over the train simulation world, and therefore we decided to try and, you know, get that done. Now, I mean, of course, I don't mind because it means I've got a little bit more to finish it off. It's almost done. It's quite interesting as well. It's only quite interesting. It's not going to be, you know, ooh, but it will be quite interesting. Is there an article coming tomorrow? There'll be some news, I'm sure. I'm sure we've got some news tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. And the worrying thing there is I was in that meeting earlier on, and JD is going to go, why do I even have these meetings if you're not going to pay attention? I go, I was paying attention, but not that well, obviously. Yeah. There you go. Aidan asks, am I that person whose name you just used? To which I say, only when I am appearing on that channel. When I'm appearing on this channel, I'm Captain Professional. Ish. There you go. Will we get onboard train announcements? Oh, I'd love it if we did. That would be super. Having onboard train announcements or station train announcements, I think would be fantastic. On the subject of multiplayer, which, you know, nothing is confirmed, nothing is spoken about, other than we are aware of the desire for multiplayer and conversations have been had. I've suggested that you could have someone whose job it is to sit in front of a virtual console in the multiplayer environment, and once in a while it will pop up the announcement they have to give. They then do the announcement through a microphone, and it appears where it's supposed to. So it could be on train, it could be on station, but because it's all virtual, it doesn't matter where you're situated in the virtual world. It could just rebroadcast that announcement, because then I could turn up in people's games randomly and do the announcing. How much fun would that be? That'd be great fun. Yeah. Yeah, you know, it could be great fun. I think it would be great fun, but that could just be me. Yeah. I'd love to give some tidbits of information on each station. There you go. I think you could call that gameplay. I mean, it's very specific to certain people kind of gameplay, but it is gameplay nonetheless. The way I often describe it is, if you are having fun using this piece of software, then you are using this piece of software correctly. Regardless of what anybody else says, if you're having fun with it, then you're using it properly, because it's supposed to be fun. There we are. Okay, good. The idea of multiplayer is fun to play around with your friends. You could have a Zeus mode. Everyone knows Zeus mode. Thank you, Armour. Or Signaler mode, for example. There's numerous different things that you could do with a multiplayer mode. And yeah, I think they're all valid ideas. And this is all stuff that we've talked about. Gareth wants me and my superhero alter ego doing announcements and spoof tutorials. Well, I have previously volunteered to do exactly that in exchange for a very reasonable cut of the, because obviously I'd be DLC. I mean, obviously, yeah, I wouldn't do it for free. No, I'd a very reasonable revenue split there. When are we finally getting bigger maps? TSW2 is almost a year old and we still only got small ones. But the challenge there is, I mean, if you think about the longer routes that we've done, so if you think of TGV, for example, or LGV, Mediterranean, that we've done, now that's one of the longer routes, but there's not much that goes on in there. I mean, it's ideal for running a high-speed service through, but there's not a lot of action that goes on, and the challenge is always, it's down to the stations and sidings and an additional infrastructure more than it is raw distance. If you wanted a 2,500 mile route and all there is a station at either end that consists of a grey rectangle, we could probably get that for you next week. I doubt you'd have a huge amount of fun with it though. We put fun over, we put the breadth of gameplay opportunities that you have as a greater importance than the raw distance that you're covering. Yeah. And you might feel differently, and that's perfectly acceptable. But it all comes down to every route gets a certain amount of time applied to it. We are in the works of developing tools on an ongoing basis to make the process of creating tracks easier, creating routes easier, so that we can do more in the same amount of time. But ultimately it comes down to, we want you to have a great play experience no matter what the route is. And we want those routes to be able to last you for as long as they need for you to have a good experience from them. And were we to do, for example, I'm going to pick a, let's say we did London to Edinburgh, for example. Now that's a lengthy old route to travel on. Well, yes, but the thing is, no, very, 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 very few people would actually drive the full length of that route. We'd be making something for, I would say, extremists, specialists only. That would be a very specialist choice. Now, I know you're not asking for something quite so extreme, and that, you know, a couple of 100 miles, so, you know, 200 miles, 300 kilometres, something like that, would constitute a, you know, oh yeah, that would be about right. But it wouldn't be long before people are going to go, can we have longer routes, please? And it always comes down to the amount of busy sections that there are on those routes. Yeah. Have you ever surveyed players about fictional routes that stress gameplay over accuracy? No, we haven't, but the answer would be the same. It's a question we don't need to ask, and because it will be a thumbs down, because the thing with fictional routes is you don't know if they're going to be any good until you give them a go. Now, if you're playing a route from the real world, even if it's not one that you're familiar with yourself, there are players out there who, you know, if you ask them, they'll go, oh, it's a terrific bit of route, or they'll go, it's a bit boring as far as routes go, but there is an interesting junction that goes on here. You'll be able to get some foreknowledge about whether that route's going to be any good or not. So fictional routes is something that we discuss on a regular basis, and it certainly doesn't mean that we'll never do one, but if we were, we would probably include it in a bundle with other routes to encourage people to give it a look. You know, if you've got two real world routes and then a theoretical one, a fictional one going on as well, you might go, well, I got this for nothing, I might as well have a look at it. And that's the challenge that we then try and overcome. Because yes, absolutely, if we were to do, almost overshot, maybe I did it ever so slightly, but yeah, you'd want to get people to actually play it. And then you'd need to make sure that the route you developed in a fictional sense really delivered on gameplay to make it worthwhile. Yes. Good. I played TS Classic for years, decided to pick up the free copy on Epic, and now hooked. Well, good. I mean, that's one of the benefits we get from offering it for free when the opportunity's out there. So whether that's via Game Pass or via Epic or any other means, is that people that kind of go, well, I'm kind of interested, but I'm not going to pull the trigger on buying it just in case it doesn't live up to what I hope it lives up to. So offering it for free means that people can give it a go and decide for themselves whether or not it's something that they're into. What's the internal process of deciding what routes to do, though? Okay, well, the internal process. So firstly, we know what works, right? Because it's worked historically, and we're not in we have to kind of lean towards certainty, right? Things that we have a high level of confidence is going to perform well. Bakerloo line, for example, we developed this because London Underground was the most requested of the route suggestions in a survey we did 3 years ago, something like that. So we knew that there was a lot of appetite for a London Underground line, and we chose Bakerloo specifically because it is an enclosed route. So it's not like, there wouldn't be an arbitrary cut-off point. Well, stop the train then. There you are. So it's a combination of things that we know would work in terms of there is some demand for it because players have asked for it, or because it's something where we've done similar in the past and it's likely to work, or where there is a license opportunity that we don't often get, and therefore, or it's adding something that we haven't done before. So those who want a breadth of experience have got something going on. Last year, for example, we did a higher than normal focus on high speed routes, which meant that the routes kind of suggested themselves to tie into that. So it's, yeah, there you go. See, Scottish Railway found out real world routes are better. How do you know? Have you played a brilliant fictional route? No, you're not wrong, because it's your opinion and therefore it's impossible to be wrong. But at the same time, I'd be wary of saying you might prefer a real world route. You might prefer one that you could go and see in the real world, so you can compare the reality with the simulation. But at the same time, I think non-real routes could provide quite a lot of fun. Steady on the brakes there, Chief. You went a little bit overboard there. Gently does it. Gently does it. There's no need to be quite so aggressive with the brakes. There you are. Right. Can we have a Thomas the Tank Engine route? Well, you know what? A Thomas the Tank Engine route would be very, very, very popular. Thomas is a perennial favourite among children, and therefore, and adults, but children. And therefore, yeah, the Thomas the Tank Engine route would be jolly popular. It would have to be released as a standalone. You wouldn't necessarily want to include it as part of a you have to own Train Sim 2 kind of a Train Sim World 2. So yeah, you'd have to do it that way. Assuming we could get a license. I don't know who owns the Thomas property at the moment, and it's painful to have to think of things in such ways, but that's the reality of the world. There it is. Yeah, Thomas Sim World. Yeah. Fictional routes would give the authors a freedom of putting a lot of interesting things together to create something very cool. However, most are in it for the realism. I don't necessarily hold with most are in it for the realism. I think most are in it for the trains, right? And I think that that realism certainly helps. But if you were to think of the overall number of people who play Train Sim World, and then go, how many of those people have we done their favourite route, or the route that they most want to see? I'm going to go with a fairly low percentage of people for whom we've gone, that's it, that's the one, that's my route. I think they're in it for the trains, and I think that a good, solid train-based experience for any rail fan is a good place to start. Now, the setting's important, and the scenery is important, but I think the train comes first. Obviously, that's my opinion. So, I mean, you're entirely, within your rights to disagree, and that's all good. Yeah. A good thing about fictional routes is people can't complain about something being incorrect because it's fictional. What the other benefit you get, of course, is if you are not trying to recreate something from the real world, you could do it a heck of a lot quicker. I mean, an awful lot quicker. You want longer routes, fictional routes is the best way to get it. I suggested, I was talking to Matt about this, and I said, I'd like a fictional route where you've got a super heavy freight line. So a freight line that requires, a kind of a 30 mile per hour maximum speed limit that runs parallel to a high speed line, so that you could be on your 2 hour run from point A to B with your freight, and a rocket goes absolutely bombing past you. I think that would be absolutely super to watch. Sorry, my brain got a bit confused there between stop and go. It's all good. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine here. It's all good. There you are. That's the one. Yeah, no, I mean, if you picture that in your head and you kind of go, yeah, that'd be great. Especially if you were driving the high speed, operating the high speed, and you go past a slow-moving freight train that is just, relatively epic in length, you'd go, yeah, that's a scene that I'd really like to see. And you kind of go, all right, where does that happen in the world? It will happen from here and there, but by doing it in a fictional setting, it's something that we could engineer to work, as well as having, maybe it's got an underground section at one end, maybe it's got a neat little above-ground commuter line. Now, look, I advocate for this because, as I often mention, I'm rail fan adjacent. I'm a casual rail fan and not a massive enthusiast. And the other thing that we know is that there is no such thing as an archetypal rail fan. The interests vary so wildly between any two fans, and that can come down to my favourite route or my favourite train, to any number of different things. Are stations more important than the scenery that you're going through? There's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all. Friday was World Lefty Day. I know. Yes. Oh, are you one of the? You were also one of the chosen there, Liam. It's good to see the chosen. Yeah. Yeah. Easy down. No, overshot again. What's the matter with you? You were doing this very reliably earlier on. I'm distracted by thoughts and chat. Yeah. That people would still complain the ballast was wrong. They're allowed to complain that the ballast is wrong. If that is such a big deal to them, they kind of go, "Oh, the ballast is off by 16 shades," and that's just totally I'm totally taken out of the mode. That's their right to do so. We don't get to decide what people care about. And if the colour of ballast is going to ruin their entire day, then fine. You kind of go, as a non-ballast aficionado, you might go, that's a bit odd. You kind of go, you don't get to choose what people care about. I'm looking at the chat too much. That's the only reason that we do the streams. Is to have the chat there. If I was just going to sit here the entire time going, coming into a station now. Yeah, I think I'll probably apply the brakes sort of nowish. Yeah, that'll be quite good. Oh no, I put a bit too much brake on there too early. But yeah. So I'm just coasting this last little bit here, and then I'll put the brakes on now. There we are. Now, don't get me wrong, that was already 90% more conversation than you're going to get out of most Twitch channels. But no, that's not what... You're here because, you you like a bit of train action, and you know, if you've turned up because I'm the one doing it, you know that I will answer questions that I can answer, and I will probably, or maybe, or I don't know, to questions that I can't answer. So there you go. That's why I'm looking at the chat. Is the stream on Twitch as well? Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. If you see the restream bot, that's what it's doing. It is telling you what the people on the other platform are chatting about. Yeah. When you're streaming, you have very few viewers. That's pretty much all you can do. Always act as though people are watching, Gareth. Always. Hey, look. I mean, when I first started out doing video stuff, no one was watching. But you still have to act as though someone's watching, because that's all important. And actually, one of the things I've observed is I've spotted. You can easily spot the YouTubers, the people who started out making YouTube videos and then have done live streaming, versus the people that started out live streaming and then decided to make videos. The ones who make videos, they don't shut up. The ones who started out streaming, they're quite comfortable to have long periods of silence. You kind of go, no, you can't have, no, you can't have dead air. Got to keep talking. Always keep talking. Moggy, I seem to. Did you say that you use a left-handed mouse? No, I can't get behind that. I mean, I understand it, but no, I use a right-handed mouse in my left hand. Because I decided very early on, when using a mouse and keyboard to control things, that I was going to learn to use the right-handed controls, because otherwise I would have to change the flaming controls in absolutely everything I ever picked up. So I'd get used to it. The only thing I can't abide, the only thing I can't be doing with, is those clots of developers who decide that mapping crouch to C is a good idea. Crouch is left control, and you know it. Can't work with it on C. Doesn't work. Can't be done. No. Can work with it on control. That's quite usable. There you are. Right, Richard, am I playing with the core update installed? I appear to have far more passengers at platforms than me earlier. I think that could be, Richard, because I'm running late. I'm 8 minutes behind schedule. I'm not playing with the core update, no. I'm playing current vanilla. There we go. That's a good point, actually, AC. I am playing on PC, and there are a greater number of passengers on PC than there are on console. But as Matt's explained a few times, actually, what we don't want is passengers spawning when you can see them just come into existence. If you see a passenger come into existence, we've done it wrong. You know, that's not working as intended. The ideal is that you never see them. So passengers spawn away from the platform edge, the hope being that as you arrive, they're just starting to come out onto the platform. And when it works, it's relatively effective. But there have been cases where, for example, coming into the station now, here at Lambeth North, there could be another 40, 50 passengers who are working their way out towards the platform now that I just simply won't see. I've already gone past them. So any passengers who are emerging now, can we get a look? No, maybe. Let's have a look. Let's give them it. Shall I unlock the doors? I'll unlock the doors while we're doing this piece of science. There you go. Right. Of course, if no further passengers appear, then this piece of science is completely redundant, but it still counts as science. A negative result is still a result, after all. How long are we giving this piece of science, though? Well, that's just, I want to see one bloke come out of that doorway. I mean, it'll be the bloke, because, you know the one. You know, the nice jumper, pair of jeans, sensible hair, that fella. Oh no, there's... See, she's new. Yeah, she appeared later on. There you go. There it is. There you go. Aren't we all thrilled as a result of that? There you go, some science done. You're sending me a link. I'm not going to learn how to use new things. I mean, by all means, send me the link, Moggy. I'm interested. But I've learned to operate in a right-handed world, and that's all fine. I'm also cross-lateral, which makes things even more complicated. For those who don't know, if you're cross-lateral, it means you do some things with your left hand, some things with your right. I'm not a dominant left-hander. I write and I use my mouse with my left hand. I draw left hand, throw right-handed. I don't know why. But as a result, I can do quite a lot of things with either hand. But I'm not ambidextrous. It's called being cross-lateral. Yeah, they are. I know, it's fascinating. This is what you turned up to hear about. Yeah, don't tell me it isn't. Ken K, any chance of a shout-out? No. There we go. What will happen with the passenger information on East Coast Way tomorrow without the 314? Don't know. What are you expecting to happen? The passenger information system will just do what it does on East Coast Way. Yeah. There you go, Ben. Yeah, you're cross-lateral as well, Ben. There you go. You've learned a new piece of terminology. Especially if you kick right-footed as well. Yeah, I'm putting the wrong way down. Will the new update be for existing routes? Will they have more trains on them like the new routes? No. Okay, so the timetables are not changing, and it is the timetables that affect the number of trains that you see at any one time. And to change the number of trains on a timetable means the timetable has to be completely rewritten. And that in itself is pretty challenging. That actually takes a significant portion of development time while a route's being created in the first instance. It doesn't hold anything up necessarily, but there is a lot of time and effort applied to making timetables. I mean, heck, Matt uses up a bit of time making timetables. Right, there we go. That was probably the sloppiest arrival I've done, but hey, there it is. There you go. It does look like there's a fair shake of people, doesn't it? But it's only because they're all moving at once. There we go. Will we see more dynamic weather or finally lose those current clouds? No and no. You already know what's coming. Yeah, Chief Longshin there. You know what's coming already. You don't need me to validate that which you already know. Do we want to do dynamic weather? We sure do. Do we want a better skybox? We sure do. Are we doing it this time around? No. No, because there is always a list of things that we want to accomplish, and there is always a cut-off point, at which point we go, unfortunately, folks, that's where we've got up to. So only the graphics will change with the update to those routes. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, you'll get a slight... If you notice an improvement to the way that graphics show up, great. If you don't, well, it's not going to be any worse than it is now. So there you go. Right, I'm going to do a quick spawn on foot, just because I do a couple more minutes of question answering. I want return to free roam. Yeah, I'm going to get off here and see what happens. Right. Yeah. There you go. I should probably turn the train off. Well, or at least, rip a couple of handles out. Well, firstly, you put the dead man handle into sit down, or it's just gonna be upset with you. No, there. Just shut down. Thank you. Right, now sling that into this. Yeah. Whip the lever back out. I don't think it's going to comply with that idea. No, I don't either. There you go. Right, and then you can... Oh, hush, I've already done it. Whatever it is you want, I've done. All right, control, switch, off, control, grab, give me the lever. There you go. All right, lock that up. I'm leaving the lights on, though, because that's just being fair to whoever's taking charge next. There we are. Are there any plans to add NVIDIA DLSS in the future? It could happen, but there are no plans to do so. It's not that it's particularly specialist either, but that would be something... Oh, points. Well, it's not. Yeah, no, it's just not something we've got in planning at the moment. In 14 minutes, the train's going to arrive. I don't believe that. Yeah, okay. What does this one say? Because I've now departed that train, and it's not due to go anywhere else. 21 minutes, a train will arrive. Well, only if this one gets out of the way. Huh. Interesting. I wonder. A lot of bald people. It's the fashion right now. And therefore they're all just, you know, studiously following some fashion. Yeah. Good. In fact, yeah. In fact, a lot of bald people. I'm going to do a passenger count. Now, apparently 100 is the number you get on PC at the moment. So that's 2, right, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Vehicles parked at unauthorised points.
That's 13. Yeah. No, I included her. 14, 15, yeah, 18, 21, 2, 24, 26, 27, you count, 27, 29, 30. Get out of my way. 32, 34, 35, 36. Yes, I do. 36 sort of, let's call you 37. Oh, and you 38, you snaking your way through there. So that's 39, 40. This might not be interesting to you, but it is to me. 43, yeah, 47, 49. Yeah, that's 51, 53, 55, 57, 58, 60, 64, 67, 68. Okay, all right. So that's 65 to 70, or thereabouts, right? And you know what? It looks pretty busy. That actually look quite busy. So if you're on console, the limit is being upped to encompass this kind of number. So it should look quite a bit busier than you're experiencing at the moment, because last generation consoles are capped at about 40 at the moment. So yeah, so it should feel a little bit busier. Lots of Agent 47s. How many sets of twins can we see? Loads. That's the other thing you shouldn't see quite as often, is the number of obvious duplicate people going on. There is a far broader range of outfit, if nothing else. If you haven't seen the first NEC Boston stream that we did, just watching the train disgorge its passenger load at the start, you just kind of go, that's a good shake of passengers, and they do look a lot more different. The only thing that we're not quite there yet on is changing height and body shape. That will really diversify things in terms of just looking like it's a real collection of people. Yeah. And I think, you know, the dioramas as well. If you haven't seen the dioramas, for those of you who haven't been tuning into the preview stuff. So, for example, we could, in fact, it wouldn't be there. It would be here, for example. We could set up a diorama spot here, and I've given instructions that we're not going to tell you where the diorama spots are when we use them in the future, because I have a suspicion that you will enjoy it more if you stumble across them. If you just kind of go like, oh, there's a special something going on. But it could be someone just tying a shoelace, or a family who are looking at a map, or they've got some luggage, or a pushchair, or something along those lines. Something that is authentic and true to life, and helps to build the atmosphere of what you're looking at. Yeah, there you go. Will the next gen console limit be close, if not same as PC? Yes, certainly the Series X and PlayStation 5, they'll have the same limit as PC. I don't know if the Series S is in the middle somewhere, so it'll probably be about 150. Either way, the last gen consoles are getting upgraded to the current PC count. Yeah, no one uses a mobile phone. I know everybody would be on a mobile phone, or they'd have earbuds in, or reading a newspaper, or I know some people still do that, but there you go. All right, fellas, I didn't know Right Said Fred was still going. There we go. Okay. Didn't know Bakerloo had station announcements. It does, but it's nonsense. It's nonsense announcement. I know it still adds, right? But it's not real words. It's like listening to The Sims giving you a station announcement. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, just seeing if there's any more interesting questions. Sorry for the question, but I'm out of the loop. Is this DLC? But is this the DLC for this as expensive as that for TS 2021? Well, okay. So firstly, Kalaris, I don't quite understand your question, but I'll have a swing at it anyway. No, firstly, this is for Train Sim World. Secondly, yes, the pricing scheme is similar, and Train Sim World tends to be a little bit more expensive. There we are. When can we buy where can we buy the season ticket? All the normal places. Wherever you usually pick stuff up from, it will be there when it goes on sale. Yeah, people have no handbags. Any progress on North American train horn sounds? None that I'm aware of. No, nothing like that. Is the PS4 progress carryover to PS5 sorted? No, but there is a news update on that one that we'll be giving on the stream tomorrow. So it's no, but not awful no, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's not a concrete no forever, as far as I'm aware. Wait till ask that question tomorrow, because Matt's got all the details of how it works. Because again, it's fearsomely complicated. Yeah. No, we needed to say see it.
Please have your tickets available for inspection.
There you go. That's what she said, and I'm going to say the same thing. I'm back tomorrow with Natalie and Matt to do a rush hour special Q&A session, and yeah, come with your questions, and we'll try and get them answered. Thanks very much for tuning in today. It's always a delight to see you, and hopefully this has been moderately interesting for a casual Monday evening, casual play, let's play kind of deal. What time is the stream tomorrow? Same time as always, 1900 hours UTC. So wherever you are in the world, look up UTC, figure that out, and then you'll know where you are. Right, thanks very much for watching. I'll catch up with you soon. Have a pleasant evening, and cheerio. Press button. Where? I've lost the button. No. The camera's definitely off already. No, definitely off.